Hey, hi all. In this session, we are going to see how we are going to set up AWS CLI on Ubuntu server. So because I wanted to run through a command line interface of connecting to AWS Amazon Web Services, and also I wanted to run some Terraform scripts to create EC2 instances. So firstly, the prerequisites to run Terraform is we should have a AWS CLI set up in your system. So how to install AWS command line interface on the Ubuntu server. So if you want to install AWS CLI, right? There are some prerequisites that Python 3.8 or later version is required because all the scripts inside of CLI is going to be having a dependency with Python. Hence, we need to have Python 3.8 or later versions. Once it is done, then we just directly get into this, installing AWS CLI using curl command. So wherein it is just hitting to AWS, website, and it will download the zip file, and after that we'll unzip that and then we'll install that AWS. Okay. So what is the first thing I'm going to do is, as part of this, I'm going to do, the installing, right, AWS CLI. And before that, I'm going to check that whether I have a Python inside of my Ubuntu or not. Let me check that. So when I check this, I'm going to server. So when I enter Python, so I get this response saying that I don't have Python installed in this Ubuntu server. So how to install this Ubuntu? Python on Ubuntu. So I'll say that sudo application, right? Install Python 3. So when I say this, it is asking password and I have to give my Ubuntu password. And after giving this, it is just installing my, the Python into Docker, Ubuntu server. If I just enter this, right, it is just, coming and showing this Python in environment editor. Okay. This is how you are going to install if you don't have Python inside of, uh, Ubuntu server. Okay. So even you can see that where it is installing, you just use which Python 3. It is just located in user bin Python 3 folder. Okay. Now I can see the Python version also if you want to see. So it is just, sorry, Python 3 version. It is just telling me 3.1.0, 3.10.112. Okay. Now first prerequisite satisfied. And next thing is how I'm going to install AWS. So right now I don't have AWS here. If you have AWS CLI installed in your system, then it should have display the help, content here. So as we don't have AWS installed here, then it is just saying command at one. So how to install this AWS in this case? So first thing is you need to make sure that this application should be up to date. And as I said, like there is a direct command which is directly, hitting and getting the zip file. So this is what the command I'm going to give it, curl. This is what the website I'm going to enter into that and just downloading this particular stuff for Linux x86 64-bit .zip file. And output, is something like in the present directory wherever I have in that directory, right? I'm just creating this as AWS, v2.zip file. Okay, because here in this case, I think v2 is the latest version here. So then I'm just installing that latest version of AWS CLI. So let me go back to here and let me run this on the center. It is just downloading this AWS CLI v2.zip file, right? Which AWS? I think it's not pwd. I think it is just installing in this path, I guess. Yeah, you can see here, this is what the command is. Now zip file is installed here. Okay. Now, once you install that, let's try that. Still not it, installed because you just downloaded that particular stuff, not it installed that database, right? So once you download the zip file here, you need to make sure that that has to be unzipped using unzip commands, right? just use this unzip, right? I already having it, it seems. Let me do this. It is just unzipping all the files, right? And keeping into this current directory. That is AWS, right? Dist and doc utilities and parser, RST include, and all the dependency files are being copied into this particular path. Okay, so now I just unzip the whatever file I downloaded here. Now what I have to do is I have to install this using sudo, right? AWS stars install. When I do this, you can run now bin AWS. Okay, it seems it is already installed now. You can get this AWS help. Here it is. Now you can see that help content of AWS, right? Which is just displaying here, like the AWS description. AWS command line interface is unified tool to manage your AWS services, and these are the options, like if you wanted to use it. Let me try this. So these are some of the formatting, style commands, like so many commands you can see here, and all the stuff it is, displaying here, including all the commands. Now I wanted to see this version. Let me do this. Here it is. The version is 2.17.13 because I installed CLI version v2. So this is what the version Python is. This, and this is something Unix, Linux kind of Ubuntu, image file. So this is how you are going to do this, right? Installing this AWS CLI on Ubuntu server, and after that, what you have to do is you need to run this configuration, AWS configuration, right? Which is just telling you, like all the files here. Okay, uh, let me do this. AWS configuration. Oh, so AWS configure, so that it is going to configure the Ubuntu server to your AWS. It basically asks you, like, what is the access key ID of IAM user, and the secret key and the region. So from where you are referring it, and the output format you just basically using it for to providing kind of Terraform syntax and etc. So once you provide this, it is just connecting to AWS server. I think we'll see the connectivity part and later of the session, like how to create an IAM user with the AWS administration privileges, and then how to get the secret identity access key, and then how you will be configuring here so that you will use all the commands of like AWS ls, which is just giving all the information here, right? So what are all the services basically providing it, all the services are being displayed here, and you can just look at this different commands here, right? Easy to connect, instance connect. So and the EC2, let me try this without connecting now. AWS EC2, which is just throwing me an error. EC2 uh, instance connect. So it is just giving all the information because uh, you see instance connect. Yeah, that's what I'm just telling. So invalid choice, it basically asking. So once you configure this Ubuntu to your AWS, then it is just allowing you to run all the commands from the CLI itself. So wherein you just find out all the stuff of your AWS from the right command prompt itself. AWS help. So all the commands which is basically can be used from the command line. These are the services can be right used. All the services can be run through CLI commands from the Ubuntu server. So what I'm finally telling about here is, so you need to make sure that first you need to install Python, so which is a prerequisite for AWS. So you need to install Python using that sudo apt install Python 3. And once it is done, I think you need to just get the the stuff CLI from this particular website using curl command, and it is just downloading that as a zip file and storing it to your current directory. And after that, you need to unzip this using unzip, right? Unzip of the zip file, so that it will unzip that and keep all the files into user bin, local path. So once it is done, just install that using sudo, which is super user permissions. It will assign to you the command you are running here, like AWS install, which will install it. Once it is done, just check this AWS hyphen version. That means your AWS is CLI is installed. Okay. So we'll see in the next session, like how to connect to the AWS using access key and secret key and the default region in the format, so that it will make a bridge between your CLI of Ubuntu and AWS server. Okay. Thanks for watching this, and please subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thank you.